Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 202 of Crunch Time. I'm going to be your host today. I'm Tanner Dislin. That's Sam Gotzi. We are the N326 duo. Sam, how are we doing today, the week before the Super Bowl?
Yeah, doing good, man. Super Bowl coming up. College basketball full swing of things. Yeah, so excited to get into the episode.
Let's do it. Now, where do you want to start? Because obviously, fairly dead week in terms of the sports calendar. There was a slate of college basketball, but where would you like to start?
Yeah, I think we made a big hoopla about something that's not an
Yes.
issue. And that is, of course, the G League dropout, Charles Bediako, because they played Florida couple nights ago. They got absolutely waxed. 100-77. Charles Bidiaka didn't do a whole lot. Florida absolutely dominated down low. I think they had like 74 of their 100 points in the paint. Um, Florida chanting G League dropout. I mean, this game was so fun because earlier in the week, Todd Golden basically said like they can play whoever they want and it won't matter. And sure enough, he backed that up, and Florida looked damn good against a Bama team.
Yeah, the coaches had a little bit of a kind of a what's the word, shade off, I guess. And they didn't really really address each other directly, but just
Yeah.
throwing subtle jabs in press conferences and whatnot. But look, I think we may have even touched on it last time we talked about it. It's like, you know what? Maybe the right take is who cares? Because if they were good in the G League, they wouldn't be
Yeah,
going down to college. And
exactly.
turns out they all just might suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still, yeah, the principle of it is wrong, as we all agreed. But I like that. I mean, yeah, maybe we were pre mad about a problem that doesn't exist because they suck. They
Yeah.
just suck.
And now it's they have kind of taken it a step further because Amari Bailey, he played with on UCLA, did it his collegiate career didn't really pan out the way. He has actually logged NBA minutes. So we're entering a new territory that we haven't really entered because this dude has logged minutes in the NBA. But again, is the reason you're dropping back down to college because you suck.
Yeah, yeah, right.
History tends to repeat itself, as
Right.
they say.
Yeah, you think you're gonna drop down to college because you're just so good in the NBA and you're just gonna dominate college?
Yeah,
No, but like obviously, as I said before, just really dangerous precedent about letting players back into college. Um, really dangerous. So surely NBA minutes is enough to allow the NCAA, which famously has very good common knowledge and common sense. Surely that's enough to get him to say, no, this has gone too far, right?
no, no. Doesn't seem that way. I mean, okay, let me. So he got drafted second round, 41st overall in 2023. He has bounced around. He played in the NBA 23, 24 for the Hornets, dropped down to G League for the Swarm. And then 24, he was with the Long Island Nets. And 24 to 25, he was actually with the Iowa Wolves.
Oh, look at
So,
that.
but like, yes, it's an issue, I think.
I think
But like,
what we can all agree on is that the principle is way more aggravating than the actual.
yeah,
Like in reality, they're not, at least small sample size we have.
mm-hmm.
It's not like this Bediako guy is coming in and dominating the
Yeah.
league, dominating the SEC. And yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people like. That's the reality of the situation. But a lot of people, the principle of doing your time in college, moving on, playing at a higher level, then coming back to college is just wrong.
Yeah.
It's just wrong.
100%.
You decided to leave college, you have to live with that decision when it comes to athletics. You just do. So, yeah, no, I think the good news is that it's not maybe not as big a problem as we all once thought.
Yeah.
Results wise, the bad news is that everyone's going to, of course, it's going to get blown way out of
Mm-hmm.
proportion. But again, as we've said numerous times, we are definitely against that precedent, that idea.
Yeah.
Now, about that game, not in that realm, but about the actual basketball, Florida might be back.
Yeah.
Florida might be back.
Yeah. They seem to have kind of found their footing um as of late. I want to say they had a, if I remember correctly, they had kind of a rough start
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
season, losing to Arizona, um, TCU in early conference play, Duke, UConn. So they're losing to good teams. They
Right.
lost to Missouri.
And little did we know just how good Arizona was. I mean, in the
Yeah,
preseason, they were 13. I think Florida was even higher than that. So, like,
yeah,
we didn't quite know how good Arizona was when they played. So maybe we'll look back at that loss and with maybe it's more we're harsher on. They lost to Duke by 1.
yeah,
Like, and UConn by 4. Like, yeah, they competed against some good teams. TCU's a pretty bad loss. Missouri's a pretty bad loss.
yeah,
But since they lost that Missouri, which was their first SEC game, they're 7-1. They beat 18 ranked, who was ranked 18 at the time, Georgia by 15. 21st ranked Tennessee at the time by 24. 10th ranked Vanderbilt at the time by 4 on the road. And then now they played 23rd ranked Bama and, of course, beat them by
yeah.
23. So
Yeah, they look dominant in this one.
they're starting to looks like they're starting to figure some things
Boogie
out.
Flynn seems to have found his role on the team. Who is there? I'm trying to think of who. Oliver Rue? No, that's not him.
Which guy are you talking about?
Their big man.
Chinula?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolute
he's a
dog.
beast. Yeah,
He's a beast. This team's gonna be scary come March, and
yeah. No, I
like
agree.
seems we have forgotten, but they're still one of the top dogs in the SEC for sure.
Yeah, seems that way. Um, but anything else in like throughout the week in the college football college basketball realm you want to talk about? Unfortunately, I do think I have to bring up um, the Calipari and the Calipari Bowl.
Yeah,
Obviously, didn't go the way of Cal. How'd that game go last year?
Arkansas, I believe Arkansas walked into Rupp Arena,
And one.
got a win. But yeah, this game was, I don't know if you watch it, but it was one of the wor most ref ball show I've ever seen. These refs, now I'm not blaming the refs. I think they were horrible both ways. Um, there were 7 techs
Yeah,
called
that's
in this
not a
game.
good sign.
3 and 38 seconds. It just took all the momentum out of this one, which could, although Arkansas on paper looked like the better team, when you throw the whole Calipari saga into this one, you gotta be able to control. There's gonna be shit talking, there's gonna be smack talking. It's almost seemed like the refs didn't know how to handle and it took away from what could have been an awesome game. Not saying this wasn't an awesome game, but when you get 7 techs, you gotta like be wondering like, were these really worth getting teed up? In my opinion, no, but I'm sure other people have different opinions.
Yes, I mean 7 techs at any point is a clear indication that they lost control of the game at some point, and started throwing them out to feel like they needed to get control back,
Yeah.
and it just turns into a disaster. But I did just double check, and yes, Arkansas did march into Rubber Arena last
Yeah.
year and won. So Arkansas or Kentucky got their get back there, but still, anytime those two teams match up, it will be very notable with the
Yeah.
Calipari factor. But kind of looking throughout the week, I mean, I would say the Saturday college basketball Saturday was a little underwhelming. Would you agree? I mean, there were some good games. Don't get me wrong. Um,
Yeah, nothing too crazy, honestly. UCF beating Texas Tech is a game no one really
mhm.
saw coming early on in that game, but the Knights just absolutely dominated that interior. And then the UCF actually outscored Texas Tech 21-4 on second chance points. Kicked that kicked off the Saturday slate, and I want to talk about this game because this is one of the most interesting stories in all of college basketball this season, and that is the Darren Patterson saga. He looked by far and away the best player in that first half.
Mhm.
He was doing everything
18
and
points.
anything he wanted. Um,
So
just
surely he had a great
just
second half too.
absolutely hooping.
Surely he had a great second half too, right?
Did not log a single minute in the second half. This one
What?
was KU had a good lead down the stretch. BYU made a pretty crazy comeback behind Richie Saunders was absolutely on
Yeah,
fire
he
from
finished
three,
with 33 in the game.
33 6 threes. Really good game. And it just sucks. They blamed it on cramping, but if you look at the sideline, there was no trainer, nothing. There seems to be rumors of his agent playing a large role in his minutes limitation, um, which sucks because this is was and is a top matchup between uh, two of the best prospects of this class. But with that being said, um, he kind of went off
Yeah,
the
he was
on
incredible in the first
yesterday.
half. Kansas would beat the crap out of him in the first half. Looked like it wasn't close. Actually, caused me to turn the game off. Um, BYU kind of made that comeback, as you said, thanks to Richie Saunders. But look, I just the Darren Patterson situation. He's so good,
Yeah,
and I can. I mean, obviously, I can't say with 100% certainty. I can tell you what I think from what I see. It is 100% an agent driven, or at
yeah,
least his camp driven for the draft.
yeah.
And look, it's whatever. I understand the goal is to playing athletics in college is to get to the next level,
100%.
but man, it just like you said, it really sucks. And like I feel like the only reason his camp thinks they have that right is because of NIL, because he's getting paid. They have the right to set their terms,
Yeah,
which like again, it's like a good thing in concept that someone who provides money, views, labor to a university that they would obviously receive some of that in compensation.
yeah,
That totally makes sense, but there are just so many unseen consequences of
yeah,
players just like you said, just setting their terms, being like, I'm only playing X amount of minutes because I want to get drafted, and using that in negotiations because Bill Self wants that, obviously wants that player, but wants that first round pick,
yeah,
that number one pick under, that statistic. And obviously we've got the whole G League thing we just talked about, and players coming back from the NBA, looking to come back from the NBA, and the transfer portal and the mega conference and all of this, just these consequences from NIL. It's just crazy.
yeah. Absolutely crazy. And I think this is not going to be the last case of it, which is sucks because when Darren Patterson is on the floor, he is by far and away the best the best
Like,
player.
do you think
Like
he's?
it's not even like
Yeah, he's incredible.
which makes me bring up a inner is it this sounds crazy because you could get paid in college, but should we go back to you can go to pros straight out of high school?
Maybe
But
that's.
like
But thing is, I think my answer would be yes, because I think there is clearly a group of people who want to be in the NBA. I mean, obviously, I feel like everyone wants to be in the NBA, but
yeah.
wants to be in the NBA as soon as possible.
Hmm.
They are good enough to be in the NBA as soon as possible, and this stop in college is just a place where you can make slightly less money, and every decision you make is for the 1 year after college, and then you go on to the NBA.
Yeah.
I think if you allow them to go straight to the NBA, you weed out those people, and the people who
Hmm.
go to college are more likely to stay or, at the very least, play
Yeah.
and make their decisions without the next, the next step in mind. So I actually like that a lot. I think that would work.
Yeah.
I think that would
Um,
work, and I don't see why on earth they wouldn't.
and if it goes south in the NBA, you can always come back to college.
Yeah,
So, so it doesn't really matter.
it
But
doesn't really matter. That's funny.
obviously Darren Patterson, AJ DeBansa, being kind of the leaders of this class. I think there are some very overlooked guys, maybe not underrated. I think Cameron Boozer
Sure.
is absolutely incredible.
It's funny because, like, I feel like preseason we're saying Cam Boozer's going under the radar. You'd be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's still leading Duke in points, rebounds, and assists as a power forward center. Uh damn near 23, 10, and 4, which is insane. But like there's also Caleb Wilson of North Carolina,
Yep.
not getting a lot of love. Kingston Flemings might be one of
Beast.
the most electric players balling for Houston. Mikel Brown is another guy. This class
It's
is
crazy.
so fun. I think this is obviously a little biased being an Arkansas fan. I think Darius Acuff deserves to be in the conversation. We've obviously seen the surgence of Keaton Wagler
Mm-hmm.
at um at oh my gosh Illinois.
Yeah.
Like there's so
Kobe.
much talent compete, but
Yeah. There's this freshman class is incredible. Incredible.
that brings up this quote. I want to get your opinion.
Okay.
It's from Jamal Mashburn.
Okay.
I can't remember what show he was on. But he said, if I was to put Cooper Flag on that list of current freshmen, kind of the guys, he would be sixth.
That's just that's just it's just
He,
super
he,
flag
he,
would.
he does realize Cooper Flag was in this class, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just hilarious. He in fact, he was so clearly the best of the class that he went to school early
Yeah.
so he could get to that next level early.
Not only that, but he's
That's
also dominating his rookie
Yeah,
season.
but
He had the
49.
49
Yeah,
a couple
like that
games
is
ago.
so bad, dude. Some people,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just not even close to true.
Yeah, but college basketball is absolutely electric. I want Illinois, Nebraska
That was a good
was
game,
an awesome game.
and one of the rare home and homes where the road team won both
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, crazy. Now obviously people heard about the surgence of Nebraska with oh my god, with Fred
Fred Hoiberg.
Hoiberg
Yep, yep.
taking over the program, what he's done with that program, and seeing a lot of people are probably like, okay, they were no, the Illinois has an incredible
I
team,
think Illinois,
and Nebraska had an off night. I really think that they had four field goals, 13 minutes. I know they've been battling a lot of injuries, or not injuries, but sickness. They did have their uh can't remember the dude's name, but he came back after a 2 game break. Nebraska ball is alive and well
Yeah, they're good, man.
despite this result.
They're good, and they were leading this game for a while. They had didn't yeah they struggled in the second half, but I think Illinois is really good, especially now that we've seen Wagler be that guy.
Yeah, he's a
Um,
stud.
yeah, no, he's I think Illinois is really good. I totally agree. I'm not selling any Nebraska stock. Obviously, that's 2 losses now, but um, they're still really good. Um, yeah, I mean we're there. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any other. I guess yesterday we had what was it, Kansas, Texas Tech?
Yeah. Um,
It's two losses in a row for Texas Tech.
yeah. We um just talked about how Darren Patterson doesn't seem to play a whole lot. He came out in this one, played 35 minutes and had 19 points. Like
Yeah, which
uh,
obviously isn't his best game, but
no.
still, I mean, we're talking 15 points on or 19 points on 14 shots. That's not the craziest thing in
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah. This it's so frustrating because once he enters the NBA, I'm never going to see him play basketball because the NBA is just not basketball anymore. So I want to see him as much as I can. Um, but with Kansas, I know we kind of talked about they have some absolute dogs on their roster.
Yep, they do.
Flory Badunga is an absolute dog.
Badunga.
Melvin Council Jr., who Bryson Tiller, another
Yep,
freshman.
yep,
While his stat line probably doesn't show, I mean, he's only averaging 9 and 6 as a but like he balled out in the BYU game. Didn't have a great game against Texas Tech, but lot of freshmen, lot of freshmen coming out of this class. Going to be one of the
yep.
better draft
I,
classes coming out.
Kansas is another team that's kind of figuring it out.
Yeah,
Obviously, we talked at length. Darren Patterson, this team's future in the postseason is, obviously dependent on what he does, who's the best player on their team.
yeah,
But also, one thing I do worry about with Kansas is their depth.
yeah,
2 bench points in this game against Texas Tech.
yeah.
So we'll see, especially if you have a player who's
Uh,
load managing, I guess, from the outside.
uh, he'd be
Looking at
perfect for the NBA.
allegedly load managing. Um, yeah. So some some major news going on in college basketball. Should we do the look ahead for the week? Just mention the big
Yeah,
games.
absolutely.
What you got for us?
Let me. So I'll start on Friday. We got UConn St. John's. That's gonna be electric. Another team that has kind of been looked over. That UConn team as good
Yep,
as ever.
obviously. I think they're coming in number 2 this week. Are they 2 or is Michigan 2? Are
They
they
are
3?
three.
They're 3. Yeah, Michigan's 2. So they're coming in at 3. St. John's obviously had a disastrous start to the season, back in the top 25. So
Yeah, yeah,
maybe at MSG they can, but I'm willing. Might be half to 3/4 UConn fans in
yeah,
there anyway.
yeah, absolutely. Then Saturday we have Duke, UNC, Illinois, Michigan State, Houston, BYU.
That's
It's
a
gonna be some
pretty good.
awesome,
That's a pretty
awesome
good
games.
triple header right there.
And then Sunday we obviously get overshadowed by the Super Bowl,
Yeah,
which is gonna be electric.
yeah, no doubt. Awesome. Yeah. Well, any more on college basketball before we move on, or
No, I think we kind of nailed all the points. Talked G League, talked how Darren Patterson might not like basketball, but he's too damn good that he can't not play.
yeah, it's either he doesn't like basketball or he likes basketball so much that he doesn't want to get injured for his
Yeah,
chance to
maybe
play at the
that's
next
it.
level. I don't know. Yeah, but I mean, other major news stories. I had two things I wanted to talk
Yeah,
about. Both of them are centric to my favorite teams, so maybe a little bit biased here. But I think we start with something. I guess we don't start, but we next we talk about something that I had mentioned last week. The fallout of Sam Darnold being the starting quarterback for the Seattle
yeah,
Seahawks in the Super Bowl. I had my little mini rant about the front office,
yeah,
how I feel about it. And that we recorded that last week on Tuesday. And just about 3 days later, on Friday, the
yeah,
Vikings announced they fired their GM.
yeah.
I'm curious, what was your reaction to this?
It seemed kind of out of the blue. I know there's been some rumbling since of that KOC wasn't and him weren't on the same wavelength. Justin Jefferson wasn't too thrilled of Sam Darnold being let go. That's kind of what I've heard. Now, is all that true? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't look. I can tell you this for certain. There is no way that if everyone in that room looked and said JJ McCarthy is not ready to play, that the former GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah would have said, "Screw you all. My voice is final. He's playing." There's no
Yeah.
way he would have done that. There had to have been some buy-in at all levels. Like KOC definitely had to have said, "Okay, we can do this." There's just no way he didn't. Now there is something to maybe he basically said, "I want to keep Darnold," and when he said, "I don't think so. I think we can, I would like to go with JJ McCarthy and we can allocate these funds here." And then KOC might have been like, "Okay, yeah, we can do that." But I think his first his first option would have been keeping Sam Darnold. I
Yeah.
do think that's true. But at this point, we have no idea. We have no idea what's true and what's not. I was very surprised.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was happening. Obviously, I went on my rant, but I didn't think it was happening. Um, the Kwesi Adofo-Mensah did a very good job in a couple of years transforming an aging roster with bad contracts, signing the right guys like the Jonathan Grenard deal, the Van Ginkel deal, Blake Cashman deal. All of them are slam dunk home runs, whatever sport you want to compare it to. His drafts were awful, and when you make the biggest decision of your tenure is you make the wrong decision, you're just going to get fired.
Yeah.
That's just the name of the game. Now, if this stuff about JJ McCarthy and Darnold and KOC didn't want him is true, McCarthy's got to be a sitting duck, right?
Yeah.
There's just
Oh yeah.
they similar to like when they fire the GM and then they clean house. Obviously, the rumors of Joe Burrow possibly being available.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows if he is? Obviously, there's a
Yeah.
connection between him and Justin Jefferson. There was a report that said if he is made available, the Vikings will do, quote, everything they possibly can to try and get Joe Burrow. Obviously, that would be great as a Vikings fan. But I was surprised. I didn't think it would happen. They're not even searching for a GM till after the draft.
Interesting.
They have an acting GM,
Hmm.
but this has to be. It looks to me like Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores. I know for a fact Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator, and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah did not see eye to eye. I know
Yeah.
them two did not see eye. So I don't know. Now there was a bunch of I don't want to say controversy, but there was a bunch of news that Brian Flores was up for a new contract. So I don't know if there was a stipulation in his new contract
Yeah.
to be like, I have to have more say in the personnel.
Yeah.
And that led to the move on top of the Darnold stuff. Um, I don't know. Um, but it appears that they're just giving the keys to Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores, and or giving him the rope and said, you either run with it or you tie your noose with it. You
Yeah.
know, do it. They have one season to prove it, and if it goes well, then they're here for a long time. If it doesn't go well, then they're searching for a job next
Yeah.
year, and the Vikings as an organization are completely cleaning house and redoing everything.
Yeah.
So very interesting time. But I can tell you one thing, another thing also for certain. I don't think the Vikings were planning on doing this all that long ago because I know for geez, I'm dropping my Apple Pencil. I know for a fact Kwesi Mensa was at the Senior Bowl
Yeah.
and he was scouting at another event. Um, that the name's escaping me,
Interesting.
but he was scouting obviously for the upcoming draft,
Yeah.
and now he doesn't have a job.
Interesting. Yeah,
So
that whole situation is very interesting for sure.
yeah, no, I don't really know. Um, I mean, it's just I trust Kevin O'Connell, I guess. So the track record on the picks is what it was, but it's I yeah, I'm very curious to see where they go at quarterback. Couple options possibly available. Mentioned Joe Burrow and maybe a Kyler Murray is available. I don't know,
Yeah.
but interesting stuff there. I think we kind of stayed up to date with all the coaches hirings, right? There's no
Yeah.
other major ones to
No
mention.
other big ones that I'm aware of. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we discussed this or not, but Bill Belichick was snubbed
Oh
from
yeah,
the Hall of Fame as well as Robert Kraft, um, which I think is absolutely absurd. Obviously,
yeah. My
don't like them, but they are 6 Super Bowl titles under both of them. I mean, I don't know
yeah.
how they're
So
not unanimous, honestly.
my reaction to that is like, okay, yeah, I agree with you. Like that's ridiculous. How are they not? Well, but at the same time, like I also don't care because
Yeah,
they're gonna get in.
100%.
They're gonna get in, but at the same time, yes, you see that, and like Bill Belichick didn't make that. Like, okay, he's just gonna make it in next year, which
Yeah,
is fine.
exactly.
But like, yeah, still, it's crazy that the greatest coach, unequivocally the greatest coach of all time, didn't get in is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So uh, I don't know if there's anything else in the NFL leading up to Super Bowl week. I get
Yeah.
Pro Bowl news.
Who cares?
I don't know if there's any news.
What a joke.
I know
Just
wasn't it
cancel it.
usually over this past weekend, but now it's
Yeah,
not.
just cancel it.
I don't even know when it is. You know when it is?
It's this weekend. This
Well, this
weekend.
weekend's a Super Bowl.
I think it's Thursday. I
What a great All Star game you have.
I mean, who cares? When Shadur Sanders is
That's
considered a
just
Pro
terrible.
Bowler, that's when your entire
Yeah, it's terrible.
it's so bad.
Oh, it
Nobody.
kicks off today, Tuesday.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Well, we're clearly watching.
yep.
Um,
Such a joke.
yeah. Um, my other thing I wanted to talk about, um, it's not really, it's just more of a mention, but the New York Mets have officially gotten their third Hall of Fame cap in Cooperstown today on Tuesday. Carlos Beltran. I don't remember if we had talked about the Hall of Fame class in MLB, um, but the Hall of Fame class was Jeff Kent, um, Andrew Jones, and Carlos Beltran. Today they made their cap selections, and Carlos Beltran is going in as a New York Met, which is pretty awesome because well, grew up watching him play center field for the Mets for a long time, from like 05 to 12 maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 10, around there, early 2010s. He was tremendous, and he will be going into the Hall of Fame as a Met. So I
There you
thought that was
go.
pretty cool. Third cap, interesting. All of the previous two members who went as Mets into the Hall of Fame had their number retired. I believe there was a report that they are already having internal discussions about retiring Carlos Beltran's number 15.
There
So
you go.
pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, depending on how you feel about him with the Astros stuff, he was on the Astros team that went through, of course, the cheating scandal. But as a lifelong Mets fan who saw him play All Star, obviously Hall of Fame caliber center field for the New York Mets, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Um, the other member is Jeff Kent going in as a San Francisco Giant, and Andrew Jones obviously going in as an Atlanta Brave.
Sweet.
Anything else to mention? I mean, we kind of it's a really slow week, so
Yeah.
we've got a relatively quick episode here, unless you've got anything else to add. You think?
I mean, NBA free agency's going on.
Trade deadline.
A trade deadline, yeah.
Oh, I guess yeah, it's worth mentioning. What Nikola Vucevic to the Celtics?
Nikola Vucevic got traded.
Anthony Simons went back to
Anthony
the Bulls.
Simons,
Mike Conley to the
Jaren
Bulls.
Jackson got traded to the Jazz. And that's
So pretty much
about
the big ones: Vucevic to the Celtics for Anthony Simons. Um, Jaren Jackson to the Jazz, which are the Jazz like competing? Are they like going for this
couldn't
thing?
tell you. I got no clue. I haven't been keeping up with the NBA to be honest. But yeah, Vucevic for Anthony Simons.
The Jazz are
Um,
currently 13th in the
wow,
West,
huge.
are 15 and 35. So a huge pickup for the Jazz. And then the other one was Mike Conley to the Bulls.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Yeah. No,
But
obviously
that's about it.
the world is the two names the NBA world is waiting for is um, James Harden, who physically cannot stay in one spot for longer than 2 years, and the other one obviously Giannis. Who knows? The trade rumor mill happens every year with him. So
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it. But that's what's going on in the National Basketball Association. Yeah, worth mentioning for sure. Deadline, was it today? Tomorrow?
I think it's tomorrow.
We're clearly knowledgeable about the NBA.
It's just so
The NBA regular season is a really, really tough watch. I'll watch the playoffs. Will you watch the playoffs?
second round. I usually start tuning in.
Also depends what the Knicks are doing. I think the Knicks are currently the 2 seed in the East, so that's pretty cool.
I know Thunder are up there in the West, but like when over half your league makes it
it's
to
Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday.
So
we got that stupid play-in. That's the worst idea anyone's ever
Yep.
had. Oh boy. All right. Let's end the show before we get into that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But that's gonna do it for episode 202. Like we mentioned, kind of a quicker one, slow week. College basketball covered the week in that a little bit, talked about the Vikings firing former GM Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, a little bit about the MLB Hall of Fame class on this Super Bowl Eve episode. But make sure to follow the podcast at X, TikTok, and Instagram at crunchtime_pod. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube Crunch Time with the N326 duo. The clock has run out on this episode, and we'll see you in the next one on Crunch Time.
Here.